James Twin for the untouchable true school sports. Let's go, baby. Bow!
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah. The Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so just checking in right quick to give y'all my post-fight review for Lamont Roach versus Feargal Mccrory, and your result of the fight is a 8th round TKO for Lamont Roach. And man, I gotta tell y'all, man, I gotta tell you guys this. You know, I'm kind of getting back into the swing of boxing. I'm still on the high of the Florida Panthers winning the Stanley Cup, so I needed something to really get the boxing juices flowing, and Lamont Roach provided that for me tonight. It was a real exciting fight. We've seen it so many times in boxing. We just seen it a couple of weeks ago with Subriel Matias when he went to Puerto Rico and he lost to Liam Parle. It's very difficult to make your first world title defense. It's even harder to make a defense when you're fighting at home. A lot of guys in the history of boxing have either underperformed or have lost to unheralded opposition in their hometown because you have all the distractions of fighting in front of your people and getting people tickets and more media obligations and things like that. So one thing about Roach that really impressed me in this fight was he seemed to fight with more bad intentions. It's almost like fighting in his hometown, fighting in Washington D.C. It made Lamont Roach want to fight that much harder and that much better and punch with that much more bad intentions. You saw early in the fight he scored some real devastating knockdowns. My favorite one was he scored a couple. And there was one where he really loaded up on a left hook and sat down on it with some real oomph to the body and sat Feargal Mccrory down. And that left hook from Lamont Roach tonight was absolutely, positively just nasty. He could have missed with it. He was placing it very well. And I think Lamont Roach is an extremely well-rounded fighter. You know, this is a guy that early in his career lost to Jamel Herring. Probably fought below his potential and has seemingly found himself in these last couple of fights and is starting to, you know, really get better and figure things out as he goes and develop into a really top grade fighter in the pros. And it's great to see guys reach the potential in the pros because he was a highly touted amateur coming out of the amateurs. But yeah, he fought with real bad intentions tonight, and he was comfortable at every range, you know, inside when Feargal Mccrory, who, by the way, Mccrory, not no great fighter. You know, he was a voluntary defense, 12th ranked fighter in the WBA. You know, a guy that southpaw, not the greatest defense, front foot dominant fighter. You know, he's the kind of guy that you'd want in a homecoming fight to showcase your skills and get a knockout and give the fans their money's worth. And I'll say this. I know for a fact the fans got their money's worth because I didn't even pay any money. And I felt like if I did for this fight with Lamont Roach, I would have got my money's worth because that's how well I thought he performed in this fight. Comfortable from every single range, inside, mid-range, outside. And the only knock on Lamont Roach really is that he's not like a A+ puncher, but he does everything else at such a high level that it more than makes up for that. And he don't knock you out in one shot, but Lamont Roach, one thing about him is if you're going to have leaky defense and let him place that left hook over and over and over and over again, you're going to look like you've been in a fight. And Feargal Mccrory looks like he's been in a fight. He got his face systematically rearranged, got his ribs and his kidneys and his spleen systematically rearranged. And I give him a lot of credit. I give the Irishman a lot of credit because when he got dropped with that liver shot to the left, right down to the body, it was the second knockdown of the fight. Like 99.999% of the time, a fighter, when they get hit like that, they're going to stay down. He didn't stay down. He beat the count pretty easily and got up and still had the heart within him to keep fighting. So even though he wasn't on the same level of Lamont Roach in terms of skill, I think he was on the same level of Lamont Roach in terms of will, you know, in terms of having that desire to want to be champion. He had the desire, but you can have all the desire you want in the world. If you don't have the skills to match that desire, many times you will not win if the skill gap is too wide, and it was just much too wide for good old Feargal Mccrory. So, Lamont Roach defends the belt. gets the 8th round stoppage and makes a statement to the rest of the 130 division that he is here. And you look at the landscape at 130, you got, obviously O'Shaquie Foster occupies the WBC. Anthony Kakachi is your newly crowned IBF champion. And then you have Emmanuel Vaquero Navarrete, who has a 130 belt. So there's some good fights out there for Lamont Roach for unification. I think, obviously, the fight that he'd want, I think would probably command the most money, would be the Emmanuel Navarrete fight. Navarrete is an established name. Beating him would do a lot for Lamont Roach, and I think it'd be the biggest challenge for him, being that Navarrete has never lost below 135, never ever lost. And he's got that real unorthodox style and could really take Lamont Roach to some deep, dark places. Mccrory, had he had more skill, might have been able to really do something, because up until, I'm going to say from like round 6 and 7, he kind of made a bit of a mini comeback as far as being in the fight, but he just did not have the skills or the defensive competency to deal with the kind of artillery Lamont Roach was delivering his way. And so the skill gap was just too wide. But a guy like Navarrete, I don't think the skill gap would be so wide. And he might have made this fight. He can make that fight with Lamont Roach a lot more interesting and maybe even beat him. It's a good fight. Kakachi's still an unknown commodity. We got to see what he does as champion. O'Shaquie Foster versus Lamont Roach would be a very, very fun fight for the division. Two guys that I feel have some similarities. Two highly skilled boxers, not known for being knockout artists, but got that dog in them. Got probably two of the more stand-up American fighters at the moment are O'Shaquie Foster and Lamont Roach. I would like that fight. But for me personally, from an entertainment standpoint, I think the most exciting fight to make, and people may not know who the hell this guy is, but I just think this would be a fun fight. And this fight against Mccrory kind of validates why I think this fight would be exciting. I would like to see Lamont Roach, if he can't get those unification fights, defend against his mandatory challenger, Otar Erinosian, who's been mandatory since, I believe, it was August of last year when he knocked out Roger Gutierrez. That's a fight that I think would be amazing. Otar Erinosian is going to be in his face the whole fight. He fights a lot of angles, has great stamina. He's hittable, so Lamont Roach will have the chance to land some of them same shots he landed tonight on Feargal Mccrory. But Otar Erinosian is more skillful than Feargal Mccrory, better motor than Feargal Mccrory. And if he were to get Lamont Roach into the second half of a fight, like Mccrory did, I think he would be able to do a lot more than Mccrory did. So I would like that fight. I think that's a fight that would be a great fight for the division, even though Otar is not a big name and people would say, who the hell is that? But if you watched him fight, if you know who he is, then you know that Roach versus Erinosian could be a very good fight at 130. But yeah, no shortage of good options for Lamont Roach. I honestly feel like I'm ready to like now that I'm off the high of the Panthers winning the Stanley Cup, I'm ready to cover boxing again. So shout out to Lamont Roach for injecting some life back into my arm and getting me excited about boxing. There'll be sometimes I watch fights that I'm excited for, and then I watch it and it's not that exciting. But Lamont Roach, I didn't really have any expectations, and I got a lot of respect for him. Him and his dad, they put this fight up with in conjunction with Pro Box, with their own promoter's license in their hometown. They're going the kind of the independent route, betting on themselves. A lot of people say you got to bet on yourselves, you got to do this, and he's one of those guys, Lamont Roach. I respect Lamont Roach because he walks it like he talks it. He wants to go the independent route. He wants to do things his own way, and he's doing that. And God bless him. He put on a great show tonight for the fans, and I didn't even pay any money, and I feel like I got my money's worth. So shout out to him, shout out to Pro Box, shout out to Feargal Mccrory for bringing the fight and being a tough, durable, honorable Irish fighter. And yeah, we'll see what happens at 130 next. But leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. I'm at the Boxing Hall of Fame out here in Canterbury, New York. And for more great boxing content just like this video, make sure you click and subscribe right over here.